It is Saturday, December 14th, and you know what that means. It's time for the High Risk Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, getting ready for that Saturday night's main event. It is I, Jeremy Pierce. Welcome one and all to the show. Check out the socials, Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube. Charismatic_Creations 52 on Instagram, and of course, 215 on Twitter. Today's show is very, very simple. What I'm looking forward to in 2025. We're going to look at a couple of the independents, TNA, AEW, NXT, WWE, Ring of Honor, all of that good jazz. But for now, you know what's next, so just go on and hit my music. We're going to break this down into two parts. Part one being today, on today's show, and part two coming up early next week for a Let's Talk About It. But we're going to start with the independents and GCW, Game Changer Wrestling. And they have really began to become that top independent promotion in the United States. They have a lot of the big names. They have a lot of their stars working other promotions, and they're really taking over where Ring of Honor left off. Yes, there's some controversy every so often with them, but the independents always needs kind of like a top promotion for the scene. And then as GCW grows, I want to see a new independent promotion take over, someone else to grow. Who is going to be that company to step up? And the rise of Gain and Cocaine. I'm sorry, I love these jokes. I love them. I love these characters. We got Gain, we got Cocaine. If you don't know who Gain is, it's just Gay Kane. And Cocaine, well, yeah. There's two different Cocaines, but I love the skinny Cocaine who really looks weak, but once he takes that big, he wins the match. And then how about the British scene growing once again? It was hit by NXT UK, but NXT UK is now gone, so it's time for Rev Pro and many of those other promotions to come back to light. There needs to be those independent promotions across the board in other places, in other countries outside of the WWE. Speaking of the WWE, I do not want the independents to suffer because of the WWE ID deal. This is, being taken with a grain of salt. How will it truly affect the independent scene and where it can really go? Because they've already signed some big names under those deals. So we'll see where that takes us. But moving over to Ring of Honor, for them, it's very, very simple. What I'm looking forward to, what I'm hoping happens, and it's easier said than done, with the first one being a television deal, whether that's on True TV, whether that's on HBO Max, whether that's on Fox, whether that's on Tubi. Ring of Honor needs a TV deal. They just do. It would help them tremendously by getting this TV deal, by allowing them to broadcast the roster and the talent they have. And as they get this TV deal, what should encompass that are stable tapings, like how NXT has when they tape down at the Performance Center, formerly the Capitol Wrestling Center. That needs to happen. They can get a place, a building of their own where they could just tape every 2 weeks, and then let the roster go and do their indie bookings, come back and do their tapings. That would, I think, tremendously help, and I'm hoping that happens. Athena needs to be moved up. She is the longest reigning champion in the history of Ring of Honor. She's one of the longest reigning champions of the modern era, and it's time for her to be given the green light on AEW. She has honestly carried the Ring of Honor brand. If you think of Ring of Honor today, you're thinking of Athena, and she needs to be given a congratulations, given her roses for what she's done. But it's time for her to relinquish and move up. And then as she's moving up, you see the stable roster. There's a lot of guys that are in Ring of Honor that I'm big fans of, that I want to see compete, because this all goes again back to the TV deal. I want to see Shane Taylor Promotions. I want to see LFI. I want to see Billy Starks and Layla Hirsch and Lady Frost. I want to see this roster stabilize and go, I know these people are on Ring of Honor, and then you can build up your stars. You can build up these people to have them come, because yes, even though it helps having Ring of Honor be on AEW, they need their own show, and the future of the brand, can be bright. You can say, well, I don't need to skip this, because after Athena eventually leaves, you need someone to replace her. You need someone to replace the stars, and yes, you've got the names there, but have they been solidified as part of the Ring of Honor brand? And most importantly, I want to see minimum movement with AEW. You can do the back and forth every so often, but not a lot. How every now and then in the Blue Moon, NXT tangles with the main roster, and that's only to help get the stars of NXT over. You can do that with Ring of Honor, but I need to see more of those champions stay on their brand and build up that brand. Ring of Honor's future can be bright. It can be very, very bright, but this all goes back to solidifying everything, solidifying the TV deal, solidifying television tapings, solidifying the roster. Those big three get done, you'll be in good shape. And then we move over to AEW, All Elite Wrestling. And first things first, I want to see the continued growth of the company. They signed that new TV deal. They signed that extension with Warner Brothers Discovery, and they have been really, really good partners. Just keep it going. Fix the video game. I have AEW Fight Forever. I play it whenever. And there's a lot there. There's a lot of meat. There was a lot of meat left on the bones when they released the game, because it can be so much better. And that all goes with the growth of the company. You know what I mean? Getting to the right venue so we can stop with the hate, which is the next thing I'm talking about. We can stop with the hate. We can stop with the tribalism, because it's just not. It's not good. It's just not good. If the WWE doesn't care about you, they care about your pockets. They care about taking your money, okay? And saying, a lot of you maybe don't remember when WWE was the only game in town for over a decade, and wrestling was not good. Wrestling was not fun, and we saw the rise of the independents. You need competition, and AEW is that competition. So stop the hate. You should want to see the company grow and succeed. Speaking of the continued growth of the company, it looks like Rampage is done and we're getting AEW Shockwave. So one of those things needs to go to Fox or to True TV or even Max, but treat those shows with care. It's a double-edged sword. I don't watch Rampage because nothing important happens on there. Then when something important happens on there, you go, why did they put that on Rampage? You see what I mean? It's a lose-lose situation. So you have to treat these shows with meaning. You have to treat them like, okay, this is an extension of Dynamite. This is an extension of Collision. I want to see the good happen here. That would be a really good get for them. I want to see that happen. The roster's already big enough where they can support a second and third show. Fix the sound issues. This has been a continual trend with AEW. Like, you can't hear the wrestlers talk when they're on screen. You can't hear them speak, and it's usually when they're on, coming over the screen. You can be better than that. There's enough people there where this should not be an issue anymore. It's something simple. Sometimes it's on the broadcasting, sometimes it's on AEW. So just fix it. That's it. Just fix it. This one is near and dear to me. I want to see Keith Lee return. I want my man to be healthy. I want my man to get back on the right track. He is a ball of charisma and a fantastic individual, and I want to see him really, really shine in AEW. But first, whatever is going on with him, we need that to get better. We need him to be healed. So I just want to see Keith Lee return. Darby Allin's got to win big. We know where this Death Rider, we think we know where this Death Rider storyline is going. Someone has to topple Jon Moxley, and we're all assuming it's going to be Darby Allin. I just want to see Darby Allin win that championship. I want to see Sting show up and support his fake son. You know what I mean? Darby Allin is one of the closest things they have built to an in-home star, and it's there. It's right there for the taking. I am ready for it, and I think a lot of fans are ready for it. Just push Darby Allin. Just give him the world title. His reign doesn't even have to be long. He just has to win. Factions and trios. This ties into the Death Rider storyline. AEW, more than probably any other company, has a lot of factions. They have a lot of teams. They have a lot of groups. It's an easy way to get more people on TV. So do not neglect the Trios Championship. You have these teams. You have these people. Make it work. Like, put them back on the House of Black. Put them on the Hurt Syndicate. I would say at one point put them on the Triangle, but we know that's all said and done. But you have enough teams there to say, hey, we can do this. Hell, why have you not pushed Shane Taylor Promotions? Treat the Premier Athletes as something seriously to be taken. That is all I am really asking for. Factions make wrestling go. They are important to the growth of the business, and you can really, really do something with them. And y'all know me. Y'all know what I really, really love and enjoy about wrestling. That's women's wrestling. So keep pushing the women. Period. You have a talented roster, an extremely talented roster. And right now, Mariah May is absolutely smashing it as champion. Toni Storm has returned, and I'm looking forward to what's going to happen with her. You have Thunder Rosa. You have the unforeseen star in Harley Cameron. And if you need to delegate some people to say, hey, you got to work Rampage, you got to work Collision, you got to work Shockwave, you have to work maybe even work Ring of Honor. You don't think Ring of Honor already has enough women. Just push them, because you have enough women to get multiple storylines in. Give them more time. Give them more matches. That's all I'm asking for. I don't need to keep seeing one woman's match per week, per show on Dynamite. All right? AEW's roster is just as big as NXT's, probably even larger. In NXT, somehow, some way can get 3 to 4 women's matches on the show and backstage segments. That's it. You have to keep pushing the women, keep treating them as something to be watched, something that you want to see. And you have 3 stars right now that are ready to carry the baton. Willow Nightingale, Chris Statlander, and Anna Jay. They have all been pushed to various levels throughout this year, facing Mariah May and facing Mercedes Moné coming up short. And Willow is probably the closest thing you have to your next big breakout star in the women's division, right? Yes, Britt Baker has been on Cobra Kai, but Willow is right there, and it's time for these women to win big, whether that's Anna winning the TBS championship or Willow and Chris winning the women's world championship. It's time to push these 3 women to say, hey, these 3 ladies are the future of our business and the future of our women's division. And give me a Continental Classic for the women. Do you need need another championship? No. But if you got to treat it as equal as men, then there needs to be a women's continental champion. Just give me the tournament. Here's the thing. You can have 3 tournaments in the year. You have the men's Continental Classic at the beginning of the year. You have the men's and women's Owen Hart Cup in the middle, like spring, early summer, and then you have the women's Continental Classic in the late summer, early fall, bleeding into the men's Continental Classic. It just works. It just makes sense. And then what you do is you have the winner get a title shot. You know what I mean? Whether that's for the world championship, whatever, but just give me a women's C2. And I want to see continued renewal of the tag team division. At one point, AEW had the premier tag team division in all the land. And I still think they do. They have an abundance of great teams, but it seems like they've taken a backside to, the world championship, to the international championship, to a lot of things, and it's time to reinvigorate them. Private Parties are tag team champions. I haven't seen them on TV in 2 to 3 weeks, besides like maybe one segment, and it was a big move with them winning. You know what I mean? Just make it mean something again, and just go back to what it was before. And what we had before at one point was the Elite being good. Right now the Elite are gone. Kenny is over in New Japan, getting ready for his comeback. The Bucks are away. Jack Perry is away. Okada is in the C2, but he's not doing much. I'm missing somebody. And formerly Hangman, he's being Hangman. You know what I mean? But when they come back as the good guys, boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, that's going to be great. The story of them reforming to possibly take out the Death Riders will be a thing of beauty. I would love for that to happen. And I need the Dark Order to win championship gold. They are OGs. And what hurts me is that the OG tag teams really haven't won gold. The Bucks, the Lucha Brothers, and finally Private Party won. But the Best Friends never won tag gold. The Dark Order never won tag gold. Like that hurts, and I just want to see a continued renewal push of the Dark Order. At one point, they were the top faction in the company. They were super, super popular. Bring back that renewal of them. And I don't know what's going on with her, but don't fail, Camille. You brought in a talented woman, an extremely talented woman, one of the longest reigning champions of the modern era. And when's this feud with Mercedes Moné going to start? Right? Don't fail, Camille. You have your horses. Hell, you could maybe introduce a women's tag team championship. You have enough women between between Ring of Honor and AEW where you could have a women's tag team championship. And now you have more time to put the women on Rampage, put the women on Shockwave, put the women on Collision. So just don't fail, Camille, because there's something there. I can see it. I think a lot of people can see it. And her former partner, Mercedes Moné, is going to win big. I am looking forward to Mercedes Moné winning that world championship and truly solidifying herself at the top of the division, saying, I got this. I am going to prove Vince McMahon. I'm going to prove Triple H wrong for not giving me my due, for always making me play second fiddle to Charlotte. Mercedes Moné is going to help carry that brand. She's going to help carry that brand. She's going to help carry Willow and Chris and Anna and Mariah and Tony and many, many others. And I want to see multiple world title contenders. World's End is coming up, and the main event is the Fatal 4-Way for the World Championship. Mox, Christian, Hangman, and Jay White. That's awesome. Sorry, not Christian. Orange Cassidy. Now you have a lot of people at the top. Besides those three with Mox, you've got Swerve, you've got Lashley, you've got Darby Allin. You've got these people that, hey, anyone can win the championship. And that's all I want to say. I just want to see it be treated as such. And lastly, make sure the future is clear. The future is bright. Look forward to having this awesome show each and every week. And I'm so glad you guys exist. Take the necessary steps. You don't have to have a 20-minute match every single week on Dynamite and on Collision. For some reason, they can get like 6, 7, 8 matches on Collision, but Dynamite can only get 5. Just fix that. Open the door and say that, hey, this future is good. The future looks good for AEW. And we move over lastly to the WWE. It's simple. Tag team wrestling. That's number 1. DIY are your tag team champions on SmackDown. The Judgment Day, your tag team champions on Raw. But make it mean something. Make it look good. Make it feel like make it comparable to AEW. Show that you give a damn for both the men and the women when it comes to tag team wrestling. And to you, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, aka Paul Levesque, buy black. Somehow, someway, for some reason, you haven't pushed your black stars. What's going on? Something ain't right. This smells funny. And it's becoming obvious, and it's becoming very, very noticeable that you don't have any black stars. What are you doing? Because we're getting sick and tired of LOL, Bianca wins. And don't become stagnant with your world champions for the men and the women. You know what I mean? Cody, Roman, Liv, Rhea, Gunther, Seth Finn, Punk. I need new names. I need new challenges. I need to see someone new. Braun Breaker, Mello, Andrade. Something's got to give. You have to start making it believable that someone else can be champion besides the obvious, usual names. And a person like this, Kevin Owens, push that man. I'm going to be very upset if he does not win the World Championship tonight on Saturday night's main event. It is time. It is the perfect opportunity for Kevin Owens to become world champion once again. The story fits it. Make it happen. I want to see John Cena win number 17, breaking the record, whether that's him winning the Royal Rumble or him winning the Elimination Chamber, to get that title match at WrestleMania. This is one of the few times where I'm fine with John Cena winning since he's retiring. Okay? John Cena winning World Championship number 17 would be a thing of beauty and a crowning achievement on his career. And then the New Day as the bad guys. I am ready for this. I'm ready to see the vision that these two dudes have. It sucks that Odyssey Jones fumbled the bag. He fumbled the bag. And Big E, we don't know when he's coming back. So it's time for Kofi. It's time for Xavier to take the reins and push forward. I'm with it. I am for it. What about you? And we got to give the Wyatts a storyline. We can't just keep having them show up and fight people just because we know, because they turned their back on the family. Give them a storyline. Give Bo a story. Give Dexter a story. Give Nikki a story. Nikki's right now been the odd one out because who is she fighting? Now, they got lucky with the Final Testament because they're Scarlett, but Scarlett's not a wrestler. So something's gotta happen. Nikki didn't get to fight Ivy Nile. I know they're a featured attraction. Just make it mean a little bit more. And don't ignore the mid-card. The WWE has introduced the Women's Intercontinental United States Championship. Why? I have an idea why, but don't make it just to ignore it. Okay? Because when you make it to ignore it, you're going to forget who you have. And WWE have a lot of people on the roster. And there's going to be a couple people being cut during spring cleaning. So they can fit into the mid card, but but you got to remember who you have. And when you remember who you have, when you don't ignore the mid card, you can give me more matches on the PLEs. You guys have all heard me say this time and again. It is absolutely criminal that WWE gets away every show with running a 5-card pay-per-view that runs 3 to 4 hours. That is absolutely disgusting. That is highway robbery. So now you introduce 2 new mid-card championships. Does that mean the women will get more time on the pay-per-views? Will we get more matches on the pre-show? You have to say at a point, you have to say, WWE, I'm tired of this. This is not fair. This is not necessary. And then you're running the same people on the same cards every single show. That's not good. And when you do that, when you're running the same people, you're asking yourself, well, who are the new faces of the future? I mean, we got Braun, but what have they done with Melo? What new stars have they made? You keep forgetting about Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. You keep forgetting about Kaden and Katana. Yeah, you remember who Tiffany Stratton is, but what about Laura Valkyria, who just disappeared and now she's back? Yes, injuries happen because Bronson Reed would be a top star right now, but he's hurt again. And this one is not really his fault. You know what I mean? So who are the new faces of the future? Because you have somebody there in Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes and Bronson Reed. You have these people. Use them. And speaking of the future of the women's division is kind of starting to become a little bit more clear on the main roster. Chelsea Green, Tiffany Stratton, and Lyra Valkyria. Those are the 3 names that really stick out as, okay, we're definitely building around them, because I want to see who's going to get called up from the main roster. From NXT, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later in the Let's Talk About It. But these 3 women are really the future of what they want, and you have to push Jacob Fatu. The guy has the aura. He has it. And I'm going to couple these 2 together. When you push Jacob Fatu, you cannot forget about the bloodline. This story is not going to have a happy ending, because I don't know how you end this story with everybody looking good. One of the factions is going to lose. Who's going to come out on top? Jacob Fatu needs to come out of this looking like $1 million. You have to do the matches with Jacob Fatu. Okay? You have to make sure that the bloodline and the new bloodline look good. You have to, if all else fails, Jacob Fatu has to come out of this looking fantastic. And you have to give us The Rock versus Roman Reigns. We don't know how long The Rock can keep wrestling. This is one of your last few money matches. We never got the Fatal 4-Way with the 4 Horsewomen. You never gave us Sting versus The Undertaker. Rock Roman needs to happen. Just like Rock Cody needs to happen. But Rock Roman is your last big important match. Give it to us. It is going to happen, whether it's WrestleMania or somewhere in Saudi Arabia or SummerSlam. That match needs to happen. But ladies and gentlemen, that is our show. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. Come back next week for the Let's Talk About It, where we finish this. Where we finish the top stories. I'm not top stories, but I'm looking for with TNA and NXT. Look on the screen what we got coming up. This is a big, big week because we're getting closer and closer to the cutters. The nominations are coming up. Check out the socials, Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube, Charismatic_Creations52 on Instagram, and of course, the 215 on Twitter. And as always, Anna J, Willa Nightingale, Chris Statlander, Gigi Dolan, Bailey, and Isla Dawn. Holla at your boy. Peace.